All right, cool. What are we doing this time?
Well, Gary, it's nearing the end of the year, and I figured we could take our corporate retreat. What?
Is that what? Is you bringing up the old Christmas?
Yeah. I'm so sorry. It sounded kind of like Goofy, which would be appropriate because I had us taking our year-end holiday retreat at sunny Disneyland.
Oh, I can never figure out which one is which. Is land good or is world good?
World is good. I said land. World good, land bad.
Land bad?
Yes.
Land bad.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but just, I know how much you love Disney and all of their properties.
Sure.
And their monopoly, their encroaching monopoly over all media. And
Let's,
yeah.
Before we continue, let's go through those properties real quick.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. Let's just make sure that we're on the same page here.
Okay. Literally all of folklore.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. Donald Duck.
Donald Duck. Mickey Mouse has a son, probably, right? Does he or no?
I just see he's a real bad element. He's a bad egg. Ricky Mouse.
Ricky Mouse. Miniature Mouse.
Yes.
Michael Mouse's wife. Then there are three of Donald's son nephews.
Right. Huey, Dewey, and Lewis. And then the News,
Lewis.
which is their little half-brother. Yeah.
Yeah, Daisy.
Yeah.
Here comes Daisy.
Yeah. Well,
Pluto.
Gary, we do not have time for this.
Okay. Well, we'll speed it up.
Yeah. So what I figured,
Captain America.
But what I figured was,
Iron Man.
What I figured was we could we could approach one of these mascots, rip their head off, and then ask the person inside what game they want us to play.
Oh, so I don't think we've had the randomization of asking someone yet.
Yeah, so everybody has a different random game in their head. So I'm gonna just the first mascot that I see here. It's Gaston from. Here we go up. Oh no, it was his head. That's not that. He's not a mask. It's not like a character mask. Gary, we need to run. Okay, we're in this.
I was certain I was going to go a different way, but
yeah, me too. Me too. Wait a minute. Who's that? Doug? Is that you?
No, it's me, Winnie the Pooh.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
That's bone chilling, Doug.
Oh, bother.
Oh, bother.
It's our good friend Doug Lief. Hey, Doug.
Would you like to rip my head off regardless?
Yeah. Never stop doing this, Doug. And I mean after the recording as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you divorced by the end of this.
This is your curse.
Yeah.
It's someone.
Welcome to Voice Trap.
What game should we play, Doug?
How about Adventures in the Magic Kingdom, since we're already here?
Why not? Let's go.
have an adventure.
Felt really bad about pulling that guy's head off.
Gaston's a jerk.
Yeah.
He gets to fall to his death like a proper Disney villain.
He might be the most realistic of the Disney villains.
Yeah, like you could just meet a Gaston, like they're out there walking around.
Especially at bars and restaurants.
An actual human being, not a talking animal or a witch or something.
Yes.
Yeah. Or an Ursula. Or an Octotar.
Whatever Ursula is.
Yeah. Hot.
Yep.
I know I'm laughing. That's plausible.
It's plausible. Somebody wants to put their mouth in that beak, or put their ding dong in that beak.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. Earlier today, Gary was talking about doing weird things with nuns, so nothing shocks me anymore.
Titty fucking them.
Yes.
With a specific thing. Just
that's how you solve a problem like Maria.
Yeah. There's only one way to console the widow.
Oh,
the light of God.
Jesus.
It's their titty fucking. Just to make it not a black box. I want everyone to know.
Right. I wanted them to go listen to every episode to see what you said about nuns.
Yeah. This is Abject Suffering. I forgot to outsource the tagline. Do you have one, Doug? Like pretend like I tweeted and you came up with one.
A tagline. I believe this is a show where you guys play bad games, so we don't have to. But in this situation, we've all subjected ourselves to this, so I don't know if it applies.
Yeah.
But catchy. Good tagline.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Punchy.
I don't know if it applies.
Yep.
You don't know if it applies. Pocket just walked up and calmly bit me.
Ooh. He just wanted you
Yeah.
to know he was there?
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. He's mad because I flipped over his toy, his turbo scratcher.
Oh, not his murder box?
Now the murder box mostly stays up these days. I get out the murder box if I'm going to be gone overnight.
Gotcha. Yeah. My name is Cole, and as you heard in the intro, we're joined by Doug. Hey, Doug.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm sorry it took us so long to get you on here. I'll own up to that mistake.
No problem. I'm glad to be doing it.
Yeah. And
You've heard of God's mistake, Goofy. Now let's hear Cole's mistake.
Cole's mistake, forgetting emails. Yeah.
Yes.
No. So you brought us something that is actually a little bit nostalgic for me.
Yeah, I'm curious. You had mentioned that off air. Why is this one so nostalgic for you?
Oh, just I got most of my NES game plan done at my babysitter's. It was like a daycare, it was a real Muppet Babies kind of situation. You know, where you went, and they kept us in a basement, and they had an NES, and this was one of the games there, along with things like Rescue Rangers and such. And because this had Disney characters in it, Yahtzee, there you go. And along with the Tiny Toons game on Game Boy, Babs's Big Break, this is one of the first games that actually scared me. Because of the Haunted Mansion level.
Oh.
Just imagine being a 4-year-old kid and playing that. You know, just with the spooky music and stuff.
Like you say, this game has Disney characters, but barely. There's one of the weird things about it, which is this is a game that takes place at Disneyland. You have access to the entire pantheon of Disney characters, and they give you Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, and not one other character shows up.
Well, Panhandler Pete, the sensitive depiction of panhandlers.
Right.
Remember that guy?
Yeah.
Disney has a good attitude about begging.
You do go up to NPCs in the park, but they're just randos. It's you could have made it Captain Hook or somebody, but it's just some guy.
Oh yeah. Well, it's shitty gatekeeping kids. Mickey says he trusts you, but answer this very easy Disney trivia question to prove that you're trustworthy.
I do owe you an apology in a way, because I think this sort of completes a trilogy, in that earlier this year we played Arkham City, which was full of riddles. And then I dictated the seventh guest, which caused you to jump on the hand grenade that is the 11th hour, which has a bunch of riddles in it. And now you're doing this, which has a bunch of trivia questions in it.
The riddle trilogy.
Quizmaster reporting for duty, I guess.
The thing about the randos you run into, and Mickey Mouse himself in this, is that he is definitely playing a game with you. You start off and the premise is they've lost all the keys. You know, the parade is trapped behind a gate. They've lost the keys. But then when you complete the challenges, Mickey Mouse gave me a fucking key at the end of one of them.
Yeah.
And where do you get off? What is this game to you?
Gary, the lesson is the key was inside you all along. Here's a knife. You have 60 seconds. I would like to play a game.
Mickey rooted around in my butthole to pull it out. Mickey went glove deep and grabbed it. But him telling me I need to go gather the keys and then handing me one is horseshit. I knew I did not like this dumb mouse.
That is the lowest hanging fruit you could have as a premise. Where the parade's not going to start. But they do 5 parades a day at Disneyland.
We missed the 12:05 robot parade. We still catch the 12:15.
It's New Year's Eve every 10 minutes. Kill me.
Yeah.
You could have had in the park is malfunctioning, something. But it's nope. All you have to do is make sure the parade starts on time.
Minnie's late for her little monthly guest, huh? And did you get the pregnancy test?
You don't want to make a minimal mouse.
I don't want my mouse to be born premature.
Jesus Christ, Gary.
I've been slamming this thalidomide.
Stop. We shouldn't record this late, Gary. You get dark. Burn your house down and piss all the ashes. What do you... God, so Doug does poo? Man.
Upsetting.
I feel like I'm barely holding it together, Gary.
Let's not.
Yeah.
Let's not.
No, let's not. But this is it's like a mini game collection we got going on here.
It is like a mini game collection we have going on here,
Yeah.
of which I think like 40% are too frustrating to play.
Yeah, Space Mountain is some bullshit.
That's weird.
It's QTEs. It's the first known instance of QTEs.
Yeah. I also played this as a kid. So I also had, but this brought back a lot of weird memories, but like they weren't, it's not, I'm pretty sure I beat this as a kid, and it's funny because I got catfished. Like I got this because I liked the DuckTales game and the Chippendale game.
Yeah. It's made by Capcom.
The
This
Disney
is a
Capcom
Capcom
games.
Disney partnership. Like this is a really fruitful part. Like they've made a lot of great games before this, and a lot of great games after this. So it's sort of odd that like here's this kind of sad little also ran in the middle. That like for two companies that are known for having an overabundance of imagination, this game has none.
Yeah. It almost like there could be a fun version of this, like levels based on the rides. I'm down with.
Yeah.
They got the famous rides.
Everybody's favorite, Autopia.
Yeah, Autopia, the best ride with Panhandle Pete, the lovable homeless man.
Yeah.
Who races in order to get a sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, again, you have like only 5 rides here out of, I forget how many there would be at Disneyland in 1990 when this was made, but like Mr. Toad has a notably wild ride. There's so many that you could use, and they built like you said, there's like different mini games within this. So you have like the racing one, you have a minecart one, you have a platforming thing. Like, not to complain that like the food is terrible and there's such small portions, but you could have made more levels out of more rides using these pieces. I watched a playthrough of this, and it wasn't a speed run, and it was over in 18 minutes.
Yeah, that's the long play.
From the world of long plays. Yeah.
It is frustrating though. Like the racing level and the minecart level I found very annoying, and the Space Mountain level. Yeah. Like the platformer levels were fine.
Yeah.
Like not fun, but fine.
Very boilerplate, I found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you go into the Haunted Mansion, Mickey says there are 999 ghosts, but they're always looking to add one more.
They're always looking for the 1,000th.
Yeah. That is from the ride.
Is it? I don't remember. So I haven't been to Disney World since I was 6 or 7 years old, something like that. So it's been a while. I have no recollection of pretty much anything except for Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, the Haunted Mansion, and Thunder Mountain.
You never done It's a Small World?
We did It's a Small World, but my mom had to sit that one out because she hates the song.
Oh, well, not me. Unlike everyone else.
This is a special kind of hell. This was on the news. I forget how many years ago now. This may be like 15 years ago or something. But there was a guy who got stuck on the ride. They had to evacuate it, and this person was disabled in some respect, so he couldn't extricate himself on his own. Okay. And I guess people just walked off. He was there by himself. So he was stuck on the ride by himself, just listening to that song over and over for, I don't know, 4 hours, 5 hours, however long he says.
Presumably he was there with family or loved ones.
But he might have gone on that ride by himself. I don't know all the details, but I could just imagine like that is a special kind of hell.
Yeah, that poor man. Like, he doesn't even have to be disabled. Like, it could just be that the seatbelt fails to dislodge. Like, you're stuck in there. Like, that can happen too.
Gnaw through it. Like, if it was me and you, Cole,
you gnaw through your own arm.
I would go. I'm not trying to be mean, but like if it came down to it, like, you could go with family and friends, and then by the end of that, you would not have family nor friends.
No.
Like,
no, you'd ally them.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a, it's a save one bullet for your companion, at the end, and then get out of there. Because that was I was a kid, I was right in the pocket for that. And it's exactly as bad as The Simpsons make it out to be, or anything that made fun of It's a Small World. Yeah. It's horrendous. Mm-hmm. Like it is so embarrassing and cringy and unpleasant and incoherent.
Yeah, it's basically punch out the ride.
Yeah, it's like punch out the ride. What is the point of It's a Small Like What are you trying to say with this?
It's
what are the politics of It's a Small World?
I think it's literally like, oh, it's a small world. Like, all of us have more in common. Let's show you every single way that all of our cultures can be different.
Yeah, let's show everyone the most racist version of every one of these continents.
Yeah.
Which mostly involves wearing shoes.
Yes.
Yeah, lots of different shoes.
Other countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Magic Kingdom was always when I went, that was a sucker's bet. Like, that was fine. Universal Studios was where the heat was at, and MGM, what they called MGM at the time.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I picked this in part because, I mean, well, there were two reasons. One, you remember that old Jack Handy bit about, I was going to take my kid to Disneyland, and there was a sign that said Disneyland left, so we went home. This feels like they made that joke into this game.
Moose out front, I told you.
Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking, like, there's got to be like some kid in like 1990 had the saddest Christmas because, dad came downstairs and said, son, I know you wanted to go to Disneyland this year and we couldn't afford it, but I got you this game.
Here's a virtual Disneyland.
Yeah.
But the other reason I picked it was just because I've spent 2/3 of my life in Orange County and the other third in LA County. So Disneyland's always been kind of part of the landscape. So I thought, well, I could at least speak intelligently to what it's like there, things that are in the park. And
Yeah.
Just been
the
sort of part
OC.
They don't like it when you call it that.
You don't like going to call it the OC?
You can call it the OC. The OC.
Thank you. See, Cole?
Okay. So all it takes is to ask. I don't step out on limbs, Gary.
Yeah. Have you been? I watched the Simpsons episode with the OC before, and they went to Knott's Berry Farm. Have you been to Knott's Berry Farm, Doug?
Oh yeah, I've been there. The one I'll stand for Disneyland a little bit. I mean, I like it. I've been many times. I've been a pass holder at different points in my life, and it is the theme park. And it's what I do like about it is that even if you're like you guys and you don't really care about Disney properties in particular, they still find a way to make it fun for everybody. Where it's like, okay, do you really give a shit about Star Wars? No. But would you still think it'd be cool to go flying around a bunch of alien planets on a ride? Yeah. Okay. That's all you really need. Come on and have fun. Every other theme park around here is kind of like, so Knott's Berry Farm has like the Peanuts gang.
Yeah.
That's their thing. And it's like, yeah, you're just not going to hold a candle to the New York Yankees of animation with the Peanuts. It's an okay theme park. It does have, it has more intense rides than Disneyland does.
So it's more like a Kings Island or a Cedar Point a little bit.
It's like halfway between Disneyland and a Six Flags.
Gotcha.
Okay.
There are kid rides.
I would have fun at Disneyland. I would like to go at some point, even with the Star Wars thing. Like, I like theme parks a lot.
Yeah.
And they have all the Marvel stuff, which I like. And I can, there are Disney things, like there's probably a Sword in the Stone poster I can find
somewhere.
There's something that I like.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to have fun.
On the back of a Planes 2 poster.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody has drawn a picture of Merlin. It might have just actually been a squirrel form Merlin. But I liked Universal Studios, and I care not about Waterworld or The Mummy or anything, but I still had a lot of fun there.
Yeah.
So I just like theme parks.
Yeah.
More than I like this game. I don't like the. There's lots of things I don't like about it. I don't like the pirates. I don't like how they're like tiny Shreks. You guys notice that they're biting DreamWorks Steve's?
Just a little bit. Yeah, they got the smirk.
Yeah, they got Shrek smirks.
Like that look off your face.
Yeah,
they made a bunch of changes to that ride over the years too. Like when I was a kid, they famously changed. There was an area where like you had like a pirate chasing a lady and a pirate chasing a lady, and then you had a big fat lady chasing a pirate.
Yeah,
and they're like, well, that's kind of body shamey and mean, so we're gonna change it so the lady's chasing the pirate still, but he's holding like a plate of food.
Oh, cool.
Doesn't make it better.
You steer against the skid.
Yeah.
And then they added a bunch of, once the Johnny Depp movie came along, they added some updates that used that stuff. But
everybody is Jack Sparrow, even the lady's Jack Sparrow.
Man, I have definitely seen a Lady Jack Sparrow. Like Suicide Girls is based on Lady Jack Sparrows, like essentially.
like Johnny Depp is a problematic figure, but I will give him credit for this, which is like he does every once in a while like know how to like delight people with that character. So apparently one day you can find a YouTube of this. Mm-hmm. He snuck into the ride in his like full Jack Sparrow costume and like was just sort of, you know, trying to keep as still as possible or move very slightly. Oh, and then just all of a sudden like, you know, came to life and like said hello to like everyone on the ride. If I was Johnny Depp and had that career, I would like to think I would take time out of my day to do that.
Yeah, yeah. You know, just get you some people probably throwing something at you because you scare them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the Cowboy Outlaw or something like that. Like the amusement park breaks down and Johnny Depp gets shellacked. You know, and at some point he falls down and his arm falls off and they see bone and it's like, oh, geez. You know, it was actually Depp. It wasn't the fake Depp.
Yeah, well, it just the whatever Johnny Depp impersonator they use in Tim and Eric and
John Depp.
Yep, John Depp on Tim and Eric Depp. And Nathan for you.
Yeah.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, Diamond Jim. Bonjour.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm pretty comfortable with admitting the fact that I am well into the Epcot stage of my life.
You mentioned MGM. MGM was really fun because the Muppets, like that is, if you're going to get like a gang, like a property. Yeah. That was like a kid's one. The Muppets are pretty up there.
Oh, of course. You had Muppets. That was where Star Wars was, and I liked that as a little kid. And fuck, I would watch a Star Wars show right now. Like just like MGM was where the stage shows were. Like they had the Indiana Jones stage show. MGM had the Honey I Shrunk the Kids exhibit,
and now it has the Beetlejuice's Rock and Roll review, which we talked about at length,
which we talked about like 400 episodes ago.
Yeah, and we'll talk about again.
Yes. Yeah, no, but I don't know. I would just go to Epcot and stay there. I would just hide from the guards. I would net at the museum it.
The mixed up files of Cole T. Frankenweiler or whatever.
What?
There's that book about the girl who stays in the museum and the library at night.
Maybe.
I never remembered it right. Well, no, I mean, I'm not asking. Like it is true. There is a book of that premise.
Okay.
Not asking, Ross.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm telling.
Yeah. You have fun at California Adventure then. They do have a lot of like more museum-y things there.
Yeah, I just had to. I want to learn about like industry across the world. The more sponsored, the better, please.
Yeah. No. What does Pepsi taste like in Germany?
Yeah, just see here's a whole row of dispensers of the most vile sodas from Italy.
Yeah. Yep. What kind of ABV does Pepsi have when it's in Deutschland?
Well, what was your favorite attraction at Disney when you went there, Doug?
It was, and I think remains, the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
I mean, as a ride, it's almost not a ride because there's no acceleration to it. It's a moving diorama that you go through. But this is kind of exemplifies some of the best stuff that Disney does, which is there's an extraordinary level of detail to it. I'm sure I've been on that ride, you know, countless times over the course of my life, and I still find like little like things tucked away in the back. And stuff to see. It's just all optical illusions. It's that's always a favorite. And it's been a different experience now that I have kids, to take my daughter to Disneyland and watch her react to things. And that's where like everything kind of shifts, where it's like, oh, you know, yeah, It's a Small World is all of the things we talked about, but you know, watching her eyes light up, you kind of go like, okay, well, you know, you're 2.5. This is magic to you.
Yeah, just you like you're trying to explain to her, you're gonna hate this when you get smarter.
Yeah. Someday you're not gonna like repetition so much. But yeah, it's just a different experience because you're seeing it through someone else's eyes. And it was cool to watch her like kind of come online, because when we started she was 1.5, so like the rides we could go on were pretty limited. But then eventually like one of her favorite rides was Pirates of the Caribbean, even though that ride opens with a pretty steep drop in free fall, which I was like, for a 2.5-year-old, like I don't like doing that. She was kind of okay with it, so that was really cool.
You get less into that kind of stuff, or at least I did.
Yeah.
Like I was, a teen, I was way into it. When I was a kid, I was scared. Then I was a teen, I was into it. And now, like a drop, I'm like, I don't know what that's going to do to me. What did I eat for the last 4 days?
Right.
Have I had milk? If so, I'm fucked. You know, can't do it.
Yeah, I won't go on Splash Mountain, which ends with a much more pronounced drop, and is probably I think one of the weirdest rides in the park, because it is the ride itself is just like a log flume ride, but the theming is all Song of the South.
Yeah, it's Song of the South with the numbers filed off. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like Rare Rabbit. So it's like this is a movie that no one has seen in decades.
I mean, it is thankfully out of print. Although, one of the songs from it was on this weird compilation VHS that I had, Zippity Doodah, and of course,
the one thing that you can salvage.
Yeah, it's the one thing you can salvage. But I love that song, so I'm walking around the trailer park as a little kid singing Zippity Doodah, not understanding.
As a white guy, when you sing Zippity Doodah, say neighbor instead of the N-word. That's a little trick I learned from karaoke.
Okay, cool.
Also, if you put the Konami code into Disney Plus, you can watch Song of the South.
Yeah, and the Michael Jackson episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah, it unlocks all their horrible content.
They had Captain EO at Disneyland for a long time, which was this basically a 3D movie with Michael Jackson. They got rid of it for a long time and they replaced it with this Honey, I Shrunk the Audience thing. And then after Michael Jackson died, there was a resurgence of interest in him. So they brought Captain EO back, and I haven't been back to the park. So I don't know if they had to pull yank on their collars and go, and get rid of it. But,
Honey, I Shrunk the Audience was legit. That was I still have good memories of that because it was like a 4D thing. So when the dog would slobber, it would spray you, with probably some filthy water from the back of the seat in front of you, stuff like that. Yeah, it ruled. It fucking ruled, and I'll stand by that.
Wait, were you talking about EO or the Honey, I Shrunk the Audience?
Honey, I Shrunk the
Michael
Audience.
Jackson's crimes.
Yeah, I was talking about how good those crimes ruled.
He loves crimes.
Yep.
Oh, don't tell me more about them. As long as they're crimes, I'm into it.
I was gonna say I'm deep in the Moranis sphere right now. With my kid, she obviously loves Disney stuff and loves Disney music, which leads to Alan Menken, which then led me to go, oh, well, maybe she'll like Little Shop of Horrors because that's all Alan Menken songs, which she fell in love with now and is totally into it. So now we're all on this Moranis kick with her. She's 3.5.
There are worse kicks to be on. I think that your daughter has very good taste.
In nerds.
But it was weird to pick her up from school and she got in the car and was singing I need blood and he's got more than enough.
Yeah.
You're 3. That's on me.
I got into Little Shop of Horrors when I was pretty young. It's kind of for kids.
Yeah.
It's about blood and an evil plant, but it's real goofy.
Yeah.
It was another source of the Moranis that I craved, and I didn't necessarily have ready access to Second City TV at that point. So
yeah,
and I wouldn't have understood
Ghostbusters.
But exactly, and I wouldn't have understood his Neil Young impression. So
the Moranis is rare. It's there's only a couple different Moranis franchises.
Yeah,
I think we've named all the stuff he's really associated with.
Well, his country albums.
Well,
and raising his kids.
He's not associated with those things, not anymore.
Oh man,
I love Rick Moranis because he retired. Yes. I always think that when you make more money than anyone could ever need, why keep being in why do Snow Dogs, Cuba Gooding Jr.? You don't need to. Is it that fun?
Yeah,
you
prove that you prove that you are still human when you step away.
Yeah, just go have a family and go develop some hobbies and and make a vanity music project. That's what everyone basically does.
Yeah,
but. Respect for
it. Gary, let me know. Have I told the story about the time I got trampled at Disneyland?
I don't think so, but it might ring a bell once you start telling it.
No.
Was it Rick Moranis?
Yeah, Rick Moranis. He threw
the lightest trampling.
Yep. He picked me up.
The littlest trample. The little trample. The sequel to Little Tramp.
Lady in the Trample.
Yeah.
It was just me and a bunch of spaghetti, and a bunch of people wanted that spaghetti, and they stepped on me. No, Rick Moranis threw me off of a pedestrian bridge, down into a sea of people, and I got separated. It was an Aladdin show, like an Aladdin stage show had let out. I got separated from my parents, and like I just like in the crush, because I was a very small child, I got knocked over and stepped on by a bunch of folks who didn't realize they were stepping on a kid.
Wow.
And so, Disney, like, they just like, hey, this sucks, like, control your crowds better. And they said, all right, well, here's like some passes for an extra, day or so at the parks or whatever. Yeah. Just
what are your ribs worth?
More extra trampolines. I'll tell you what my ribs are worth, Gary.
Okay.
My stepdad, he took those passes, he scalped them, and he used the proceeds to buy a Planet Hollywood jacket.
Yay!
So that's what my ribs are worth.
That's amazing. Don't you love your stepdad? Haven't you talked a lot of sugar about that monster?
Yeah, I love my stepdad a lot. He's a father to me. But
how many Planet Hollywood jackets worth of love do you have for him? Because that's really the measure, right?
I told him he could never throw it away. I told him I get it when he dies.
Well, you paid for it in blood.
Yeah. I
paid for it in bruises and trauma.
You're going to have a hell of a story at his funeral. Wowie zowie.
Yeah. So there's that. Just if you want to examine that for some explanations about my behavior and fears,
pretty amazing.
Go ahead.
You're all scared of being trampled.
Well, so yeah,
that'll do her.
That just seems reasonable to me. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
So there we go. That's an important admission. That's what we call in therapy a breakthrough.
Did you have to go to like their weird little on-site hospital?
No, not permanently. Like they did, they didn't think I was about to die. Like they didn't throw me into the chute that launches like dying bodies off of the property so that nobody dies on Disneyland. Yeah.
Did you have to go to the hospital or something?
No.
Okay. So like a third base coach could have treated your trampling?
Yes. Probably. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't saying that to minimize. I was just curious as to like how serious this was. Because if you just got passes and you had to go to the hospital or something, it's like, well, come on, Disney.
Yeah, no. It was like more of just a trauma kind of thing. But yeah, I did get stepped on. I have a real recollection of that. So yeah.
Another way to look at that, Cole, is that very few people get the experience of stepping on a kid.
So I gave that to somebody.
You gave that to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like
you gave that to an unending parade of Japanese tourists.
Yeah. And so many people die without ever having done that.
Yeah.
Like it's not necessarily a good thing that maybe they don't want to, but it's still a unique experience. Like you add a little bit of wonder. Disney really is the most wonderful place on earth. Like
where dreams come true.
A lot of whimsy from there.
Yeah, no, I never.
Plus churros.
Churros and stepping on corals. Hello.
Yeah. Hi.
You should have got a job. Like maybe you could still be there today getting stepped on.
Yeah, it's a living.
Yeah.
Oh man, just to get stepped on. I'm in the PP money game, except it's the Planet Hollywood jacket game. They're getting rarer and rarer. They don't make those anymore.
There are a couple of game facts things I want to bring up before we run out of time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is not funny, but the one fact for this is done by Game Facts royalty Dan Simpson.
Yeah, the canonical chronicler of all of the Infinity Engine games.
Yep. Amazing fact writer. My favorite fact writer, which is a weird thing to say, but I think he's the best person on Game Facts.
Oh, he's really good. He's in the God tier with President Abel.
Yeah, exactly. Like facts I've read multiple times. Mm-hmm. Made by this guy.
Yeah.
So it's just a real weird to have him jump out at me like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. And the maps, like the diagrams of different levels and stuff, those were done by Starfighter 76, a prolific map maker who actually at one point listened to the show. Like we mentioned their maps in the Phantasy Star 4 episode of WoW, and they're like, hey, I made those. So if you're still out there, cool.
I'm looking at that fact right now. And what's kind of amazing is, so he's got the answers to all of the potential trivia questions that the people in the park could ask you, which means that this person had to go up and, either play this game over and over and over again to get all of the questions or, purposely get them wrong over and over again. Cause there's, I don't know, 30 of them, something like that.
There's a bunch.
Just to and some of them are really hard. Like, this game came out before the internet, so like you couldn't just go look up some of this stuff.
Yeah, what is the name of Zorro's horse?
Yeah.
Here's one that's really bullshit. What is the name of Hook's ship in Peter Pan? It doesn't have one.
Oh, geez.
Trick question.
No trick questions.
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing is a game. The mouse is making you play a game to like fetch his keys. So like the whole thing is
long. Yeah.
He knows. Speaking of Abject Suffering royalty, we got a review by Casket Darkfire.
Oh, we got so many royalty. We got so much royalty here. We got Psycho Penguin.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Psycho Penguin. We also have a new person I'd like to add to the royal family, which is Rip Drenger.
I didn't see one by Rip Drenger.
I think it's actually Rip Ranger, but I like Rip Drenger.
Rip Drenger is good. Let me pull that up. Is that a review?
It's on the message board.
It's on the message board. I probably have this open.
The title is "This Game Blows" with a lot of exclamation points.
It's so good. Or so Rip the Drenger says, "Yeah, time to go play some Manhunt. This game pulls such cheap crap. Good design and music, but too bad you get pwned by a floating book you have no way of hitting. Or go to your pirate world with no weapon. Ew.
This is the capitalization and stuff of this is pretty random and fun.
Yes.
4 barrels in the world and 25 guys. Wow. And then you die in stupid Mickey. He's very mad.
This game sucks. I want it to go back to hell where it belongs.
Disney, you turd. Keep this in your phony extreme home makeover TV show. Oh, were you going to build one big house because it makes for better TV when we could do a couple decent homes for the same price? Oh, play this game and you will be in pure hell. What are you talking about, Rip Danger?
Yes, those resources could be so much better allocated.
It's weird.
That's what Disney's known for, is that show.
Yeah, exactly.
The famous Disney show, Extreme Home Makeover.
Put it on the Sears account. And then Rip Ranger responds, also the Space Mountain level blows. I hate it.
And I was really hoping that was going to be like 1 year ago. Because this whole thing, this was done in 2010. This is 9 years ago. Yep. This guy went on here to yell about this.
Oh, it's so good.
So yeah, Rip Ranger is I'm adding him to the pantheon of like names to watch.
Yes.
Because I bet you anything he does will be good.
Absolutely. And then we've also got another one on the message board. I always wish they remade this from Miss Chu. Sadly, it'll never happen. Very innocuous. And then Hillian Fox writes in 1 year ago, maybe if they remade it into an actual game, Iceburn.
And his SIG is like 2 shows like having a conversation where Homer is from the John Waters episode is like, I like my beer cold, my TV loud, my homosexual is flaming. And then Chris Pratt responds with, don't be a turd.
I can't tell if Hillian Fox is right here, actually.
Yeah, I don't actually know what is happening.
I can't get a beat on Hillian Fox. We've got a couple of other alumni from the Rogues Gallery here. We have Vegeta, but Vegeta's not necessarily doing Vegeta type things. Like they're
that's my favorite Stone Temple Pilot song.
Vegeta type things.
A good deep pull.
Very good. Very quick too.
Me and the band spend most, like, before we started making fun of Red Hot Chili Peppers almost exclusively, it was all Stone Temple Pilots.
Gotcha.
Like basically 100% of the time making fun of Stone Temple Pilots.
So sound effects and music. No neat sounds, no good music, not even It's a Small World to drive you insane. So Vegeta's not doing their normal bullshit where they write like a script. And then King Broccoli is here.
King Broccoli.
What I was looking at.
Yeah. King Broccoli ends their review with the marching band sucked too.
Yes. Yeah. Well, there's also, I mean, not to keep, so we have those old people, but this is just a real nexus of GameFAQ shit because this review by Ryan Gillum, so the seal of quality means nothing anymore. Is also really good. Since Nintendo games were released, they've always had the seal of quality. This, I thought, meant it was a good game. This game proved me wrong. They must have paid a lot of money for Nintendo to actually release this. At least there were a lot of other NES games to cover up this failure. Shouldn't Nintendo let it happen again?
They thought they could slip this by.
Sounds not too good. okay for an NES game, but don't expect something that equals the Mario tune or the Pokemon one. But then again, most of the NES games have bad sounds. This is no exception.
This is no exception. Psycho Penguin is here, back on their bullshit. So instead of saying like pros and cons, for pros they have Final Fantasy, and for cons they have Breath of Fire.
Jeez, Psycho Penguin, and it is of course like 4,000 words.
Oh, of course, it's 4,000 words. And at the very end, they give like a score rundown. I run down the ladies, the ladies' man. You know, that classic SNL character, Leon Phelps.
It ends with, and that's a ladies' man guarantee. This guy's a big Tim Meadows fan.
Oh, luckiest man in show business.
I love Tim Meadows.
He's very good. I like Tim Meadows quite a bit.
He's very good. And there's also, God, where is it? Ace Ultra Gamer.
Okay.
Who the body of the review is not very great, but the premise of the review is Disney game for kiddies is nothing more than one big gimmicky promotion to come to Disney World, which I think is kind of like misjudging the idea of this.
We got a real Holden Caulfield here.
Yeah, we got to raise Disney World awareness through this NES game.
Otherwise, why would anyone want to go?
Yeah. I just want to go there and drive in a car and run people off the road into water where they drown, like I did in the game. What panhandlers can I kill? Welcome to Disneyland.
Welcome to the world. I also want to call our attention to Donald Love 87, who initially wrote their initial review was in 2002, but they updated it in November of 2012. So it's a little bit short of the 10-year anniversary.
Yeah.
And Donald Love 87 writes kind of like an Aquid character. This game, Disney Adventures in the Magic Kingdom, is one of them licensed games based on such a strange thing. You're more surprised there is a game featuring it than you would have been if there were none.
Yeah.
The graphics are good for being an NES game and features real variation, though the overworld and the 5 mini games. Just lots of redundancy. It's very good.
That is also like a 7,000 word review.
Yes. Here's the line. I wish I could just somebody point me to a like a Chrome plugin where I can like make highlights persistent on particular sites. But under story, while the story is very basic, it's also unusually present in the game.
Unusually present?
Yep. There's so much good GameFAQs stuff here. You made a good choice, Doug.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I was looking. The one I liked was the King Broccoli one because it reads like what's that? John Lovitz's Master Thespian wrote it. What does he say? Like the enchanting premise of a land filled with dizzying rides, tacky restaurants, and harshly overpriced souvenirs is indeed the stuff that dreams are made of.
Here was my chance to experience the kaleidoscopic world of fun firsthand.
Oh man, yeah.
Finishes that sentence. Then there's a return, and just the word "alas."
Alas.
Like a day.
I'm going to teach him the word "alack" and double like King Broccoli's moves. Yeah. The adventure begins with you in your cowboy hat standing at the gate. The top-down view shows a serene environment, the cool wind blowing, the smell of cotton candy all around the park. It's a real classic overreading.
Something had to be done, and as the 12 dozen buxom supermodels screaming, "Save us, King Broccoli," will attest, I was the man to do it.
He is truly the main character in his own life.
Yeah.
He reminds me like Brayton Cameron doing characters in D&D. Like Brayton Cameron does a lot of characters that are like King Broccoli. In case you want to know what it's like to play D&D with Brayton. There's a lot of this stuff.
That is not a very flattering portrait.
If you want to read a really cool piece of writing about Disneyland, Steve Martin's book, Born Standing Up, is a fantastic read. It's all about his early life and his stand-up career. And he got his start working at Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm as well for a time. And this was back in like the 1950s. Like it's a really cool like time capsule of the way the park used to be when it first opened. And he talks about like the reason his act was kind of so weird was that he was influenced, like at the time he was just a kid picking up like rope tricks and like weird magic and like how to play a banjo from these guys that would just do this stuff in the park as entertainers. And it was really kind of a neat picture or a snapshot of a place in time that's kind of forgotten.
It was like a weird like boardwalk vaudeville kind of thing.
It used to have a lot more of that vibe for sure.
Yeah,
you still get a little of that in the Main Street area when you first walk in, but that's all just like gift shops and food and stuff.
Well, I mean, they replaced Main Street with that weird painting that was like the forced perspective that says, oh, there's a street here, but there's not. Yeah, that's a weird joke about that one thing that's at Disney World that I remember occasionally.
Just gonna let that one sit there for you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do like now you're being trampled by silence.
No jacket required.
No
jacket required.
I will second Born Standing Up. That's a very good autobiography. It is not self-serving, and as far as I can tell, it does not have many glaring omissions.
No, and it's also worth doing as a book on tape too, because then you get Steve Martin actually reading it. It was a weird. I was super influenced by him as a kid, but I didn't know it because my dad would just do all these like weird Steve Martin bits. Like I'd come downstairs or whatever in the morning, he'd be making breakfast and going like, "I'm a neat guy" to myself or to himself. And like years and years later, like I bought a copy of one of Steve Martin's stand-up albums, and I went, "Holy shit!"
Oh, that's what that is.
Doing Steve Martin shit. Like no wonder I liked him so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be like Michael Scott. I'll be destroyed the day that Steve Martin dies.
Yeah,
he seems with it.
Yeah,
Facebook is always trying to sell me his like master courses or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So he's still around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I met him once briefly in college. He was at the UCLA where I went, does this book festival every year, and he was there plugging something, and I didn't have anything for him to sign. So I was, because I was in my early 20s and ambitious, I was working on writing a play, which went nowhere, but I had him sign it because it was the only thing I had. And I was like, I thought he was just such a huge influence. So I walked up to him and I handed him this half finished manuscript, and he goes, and he was very nice. He was like, "What is this?" And I said, "Well, it's a play." And he's like, "What do you want me to do with it?" "Well, you don't need to sign it. Just bless it." And he said, "Well, I bless it, and good luck to you." And he signed it, and then I lost it.
Of course. How gracious! How gracious!
Oh well.
Yeah.
Very, very gracious of him. Sad that you lost it. Somebody will find it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's somewhere in a box in my house somewhere. I'll find it.
Oh, that kind of lost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it didn't burn up in a fire.
Mislaid.
Mislaid.
Yeah.
Doug, do you have anywhere? Thank you for your support.
Yes,
You've been a long-time supporter of that work. We really appreciate that. Do you have anything you would like to plug? Your child, tell us about your kid.
Boy, in a few years, she's going to be real dynamite. No,
tons of content.
I don't have anything to plug really. I'm just a very nerdy attorney. So nothing to plug there, but you can find me in the Slack. I'm usually there as Jude Law, JEWEDLAW, although right now I put it for my happy Christmas name, which is Jude Lonica. So I like puns. That's it.
It's good. Good stuff.
I'm waiting for the next holiday I care about. So look out. Kazimir Garolaski Day.
What are you, what?
I just, Kazimir Pulaski Day. Didn't have that?
No.
It's the holiday. In Illinois, you get it off.
I'm trampling you with silence now.
Well, trample away, baby. If you would like to suggest a game for this show, so if you want to have a theme park game you want us to play, go to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. There is a patron goal that allows you to dictate a game for us. You can also go to abjectsuffering.com, I believe, and suggest a game.
Yeah, abjectsuffering.com/suggestion, I believe.
Yeah.
You'll see it in the toolbar up there.
No, and then ratings and reviews.
Yeah.
Helpful.
Always helpful.
Welcome.
Yeah, but most of all, you can come back next week, and we'll be here. We'll always be here for you.
Yeah, all of us except for Doug.
Well, yeah.
We'll be raising his kid and being a lawyer.
Yeah.
And hanging out in the Slack.
And talking like this from time to time.
No, he's not. No, he's back.
Lawyer who?
Well, thank you, Doug, and thank you, everybody.
My pleasure.
Yeah. And until next time, mail some mouse ears to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.